COVID-19, we have Norman and I have a very special guest with us today. He goes by Captain Lou. His last name is Edwards, so Captain Lou Edwards. And you see he has his captain hat on there, which he is known for because it's either 15 or 16 years, Lou, I think you've been doing this. I know back in the day when I was following Mike Filsaime, and I remember they used to do this thing called the Big Seminar, and that was at Armin Morin's event, right? And I think that's probably the first place that they advertised the very first Marketers Cruise. And so, Mike reached out to Lou and said, hey, we want to start, let's, instead of doing these seminars in the hotels, and which was great and everything, let's do something a little different. Let's start doing some things where we can have fun while, together getting to know each other a little better instead of just being in a hotel room. So I know Mike came to you 15, 16 years ago, and now, the rest is history. Now there's other people that are doing these types of cruises. And this is the first one. Well, maybe it's the second one, but I know it's the first one the way Norma and I are doing it with, kind of the networking and the whole Amazon element to it. And it's going to be incredible. So, Lou, you've been doing this for a long time. You're the expert. I want you to tell us, what this is all about, why you're going to want to be on our cruise. And just give us a feel for, what it is. And like I said, there should be no hesitations for anyone to join us. But go ahead and tell us all about the cruise, what you do, and how you do it.
Well, it's amazing. And thank you, Dave and Norman, and hi to Kevin and everybody else that's watching this live or on replay. It's amazing how, Woody Allen was right when he said 80% of success is just showing up. Because it was that January of 2003 that I showed up at that big seminar that you mentioned, Dave, in Dallas, Texas, I remember. 165 people. And, hey, were you there at that very first big seminar?
I was not there. No, I was not there. But I knew about it. But I tell you what, after, you start seeing it ended up being, 3,000 plus people event. It got so well known, the big seminars. But no, I was not at that one.
So I showed up without a product, without a list, without a clue, really without a plan. I had just gotten into the travel industry and was probably learning how to make a little web page collect a name and an email. Back then, that was sophisticated stuff, right? This is before Google and YouTube and Amazon and all of that. That's right, before Amazon and beyond. There wasn't even beyond, there wasn't even an Amazon. That's right. So I'm there in the audience. And a woman in the audience, Armand and Alex Mendoza, and all these speaker gurus at the time, and we're learning about internet marketing. And back then, it wasn't so much e-commerce, because who would buy anything online, right? As it was just selling the picks and shovels, the software, and it was the gold rush of the internet just beginning. And someone in the audience says to me, "Hey, Captain Lou, want to do a JV? Want to do a JV?" I was like, I never heard the term before. The JV, what's a JV? She says, a joint venture. A joint venture. I said, now I didn't hear the word venture. I thought she wanted to smoke a joint with me in the bathroom. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm like, I know I look like a wild man, but I'm really a good boy from New York City, and I don't do that stuff. I'm not going to do that with you. And she says, no, a joint venture. Do you know what that is? And I said, no. I thought she was talking about a joint. So we go to lunch, and she says, this type of seminar that we're doing here, learning internet marketing, could we take this whole thing out of a stuffy hotel conference room and have meetings in like on a luxury cruise liner, sailing away from some exotic island in the Caribbean, like Bahamas or Mexico, sitting at sunset in a jacuzzi up on the Lido deck, sipping a pina colada while sailing away from some sun-drenched island and brainstorming our businesses and then I chimed in, you mean like networking and schmoozing while Caribbean cruising? And I started speaking in rhyme because sales copy tells you'll get higher conversion if you have rhyme. Anyway, I said, so okay, a place where like-minded souls who have common goals, where profitable business gets done while on vacation and having fun. So we're already starting the branding here, right? And the rest is history. So I had no idea what was about to happen, or how much this was going to catch on. This is before the marketers cruise. And fast forward now 16 years later, it's, what is it, we're the end of 2019 at the moment when this is being recorded. And so I own and run, my marketing niche is a company called Special Events at Sea, where we do exactly that. What's so special about taking this mastermind conference and putting it on a cruise ship when you guys have done brainstorming and mastermind events on land? We're doing it right now by webinar, right? By Zoom video conference, which we didn't have back then. So what's so special about putting it on a cruise ship? It's very, very hard to explain. I could show some pretty videos and slides and pictures of all the fun, but that's all people think it is. They think, so I'm going to be trapped on a boat for this time for 8 days, not 7, 8 days and 8 nights, because guess what? That extra day, you still won't think it's enough because the time goes so fast. But I can't explain it until you're there. So what do? We bring the wives. We bring our mom, our neighbor. We're going to be away for a week. Is it a vacation? Is it a seminar at sea? Are we going to be hit with speakers from morning to night? Are Dave and Norman just going to basically, it's going to be information overload, and we won't get a chance to enjoy the shows, the Broadway and Vegas style shows, or the gourmet buffets, or the islands that we visit? How does this work, right? Well, I didn't know how it works until I invented the formula back in 2003. And we figured out, let's do and this is what I've done all these years, let's do a 70-30 work and play balance. Only it would be 30% work and 70% play, and that equals 100% fun. So, but if we're only going to be doing, how do we do this? How do we do the mastermind sessions? Why are we doing this on a cruise ship? Because you can invite your spouse, your entire family, the stuff for the kids, for the spouse. So you know how you go off on a seminar and your wife or girlfriend or your mom has no idea what it is that you do in your business. What is e-commerce? Shopify? Amazon? What is, I don't know. That's a bunch of hocus pocus. And they feel removed. They feel not part of things. So at the regular seminars and masterminds that you do, it's usually just the participant, the player, the person who's online, the entrepreneur that's there, and you leave your family behind. And then what happens is your spouse and your family, it's not that they resent you being in the old boys network, they're doing your thing with online commerce. They just don't understand it. But when we invite everybody to come and join, and there's pools and jacuzzis and shows, and there's live bands, and there's music and dancing and comedy clubs, and I mean, it's like a floating mega resort city for 8 days. It's a real vacation. So we figured, let's do these mastermind sessions and business building sessions. Well, first of all, my formula has always been to try to make it more peer-to-peer than guru-student. Now, obviously, in this particular case, Norman and Dave, you guys are the gurus. You guys are the grand, high, exalted, mystic rulers, the Emir Sultans of all Amazon and beyond e-commerce. Am I right?
I don't know what you're talking about. Just keep going there.
Is that a nice build-up? But when you get people in this relaxed, organic atmosphere to share ideas, to brainstorm, to learn in little chunks for 3 or 4 hours on the mornings of the days at sea. So no one is stealing your sunshine and fun in the sun in the afternoons out on the ship. The ship has a million things to do. So now you have time for your spouse, you have time for your family, and you really have time to digest the information, the action steps that you need to be doing with everything that you're learning from Dave and Norman. And why can't that happen on land? Well, it can, but it's different, right? Because you guys are you're doing online trainings, right? You're doing live get-togethers. But a cruise ship is so unique in that we can do all of this in t-shirt, swimwear, and flip-flops. And that's your formal attire for the whole week. Except for if you go to a fancy restaurant at night, and there are many of them on these ships that there used to be just one. And all your meals are included. And all of your entertainment, Vegas and Broadway style shows are included. And your dancing and your music and your everything. Not your donation to the casino. That's optional. Or massage, spa treatments, whatever. But mostly everything's included. So we wanted to help businesses grow while living that laptop lifestyle that you hear a lot of gurus profess and proclaim, but they don't really do it, right? And why not live this laptop lifestyle and check on your sales, check on your online business from the beaches of the world or from the Wi-Fi that they now have high-speed Wi-Fi on the ships. It's getting better every year. So from your cabin or from the internet cafe or from out by the pool deck, you're still checking on your business. That answers an objection, Dave and Norman, of how I can't possibly leave for 8 days.
Well, that's the only way, Lou, I was able to get Norman to come. You know, I told him there's a high-speed connection. So he's like, again, the second thing was Coke Zero, but the high speed was the main thing.
Norman seems like the kind of guy to me that, like me, like I'm old school. So if I take my watch off, even though you have the time on your phone, I feel naked, like I'm lost without the watch. So Norman seems like the kind of guy to me that if the internet is down, just stick a dagger through his heart. Am I right?
The sky is falling.
The sky is totally falling.
You know, Lou, he actually said, "Hey, Dave, I don't understand why we changed this to 8 days instead of 7." I said, "Norm, we need to get you out more often." So he's, kicking and screaming. He came, but you're right. After 8 days, gonna be wait, we're ending. So, but yeah.
So on the schedule of this, and we'll go to the screen sharing in a moment, but on the schedule of what we've got planned for the Celebrity Equinox. By the way, Celebrity spends more money per day per person on their gourmet cuisine. So if we have any foodies, they will enjoy. Everything's included, up to 8 meals daily, 24-hour room service, even breakfast in bed, out on your balcony. And that doesn't mean you have to gorge and be out of control. They also have low-cal and healthy diet, vegetarian, vegan, for everyone that has any different needs, they will accommodate. The ships have come a long way since the old days. It's very modern, very contemporary. And so your food is taken care of, your entertainment is taken care of, fun in the sun, beautiful islands to visit. And then on the mornings of the days at sea, we're all together with Dave and Norman and the top VIPs. And something magical happens on those days at sea, because it's hard to describe. I've told you this before, Dave, that we have people that we have to almost crowbar or just like yank them onto the cruise. We have to. It's not that we're hard selling; it's just a warm invitation. But they just can't connect cruise and mastermind conference because they don't know how it's going to go and if it's worthwhile. But more profitability, more ideas, more implementation, more things have happened as a result of these cruises. And I do them now for all the top names and all over the world. And I'm kind of the leader in this industry to transform an ordinary cruise into a real, and I think this is used probably too often, transformational, life-changing event of a lifetime that hopefully happens every year. And when you guys come on the AMZ and Beyond Cruise Conference, Mastermind Cruise Conference, you will love it so much. The 8 days will fly so fast. You'll get so much value out of it that you'll be the first to say, well, where do we sign up for? Where are we going next year? And that's, it's a testament to the power of this that we have 70 to 85% of most of our groups signing up a year in advance, that we never have to do a webinar or a video call because they know. They're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Now, let's talk a little bit about pricing. Well, I see a balcony ocean view cabin on the enrollment form is like $2,500 a person. That's like $5,000. Well, that's not much more than you would pay for a regular cruise, sitting at dinner with Joe the plumber from Boise, Idaho, and making small talk about the weather. Am I right?
Yeah, well, especially when you include all the different amenities that we're getting too. When you add in all the stuff, when you talk about Lou, it's pretty much the same price, isn't it?
Absolutely, because we've built in as special event planners all sorts of perks and amenities. I'll go through that in a moment. I'm kind of enjoying the whole Brady Bunch thing here going on with the. Is it Norman? Is this Brady Bunch or is it Hollywood Squares?
Oh, let me see. I'm aging myself if I say, well, no, both of them were back in the 70s. So, yeah, Brady Bunch, Brady Bunch.
Okay, so I'm enjoying the Brady Bunch here. So when you consider what is being charged, it's kind of like the cruise. Is the cruise included with the mastermind conference, or is the mastermind conference included with the cruise? You're really getting two things for the price of one. And if Dave and Norman really wanted to, they could double or triple the price of this experience. But they want to build some mojo for this first annual cruise. Maybe we'll raise the price next year. So you have to be in with us. You know, you're the beta cruisers, right? For this particular group. So we had a talk with Dave and Norman. He said, no, let's keep it affordable and keep it close to our costs. And obviously we've got AV and meeting rooms, and we've got cocktail parties, and we have all sorts of private events and meeting space and private dinners and all sorts of things that you don't normally get on a regular cruise. But let's keep it affordable, and so everybody can attend. And I said, I agree. Let's do that. So you're right. I'm not much more than you pay for just going on a cruise with total strangers that are not like-minded souls that share common goals. So this makes sense. A lot of people ask me, well, if the cruise is not until next June, like, okay, I'll get around to it. I'll put my deposit. What's the big deal? There's plenty of rooms on the ship. And the answer is no, there isn't. Unlike hotel events where you could, up to a week or two before the event, buy your ticket and somehow make it work out, the cruise lines have gotten real strict with advanced bookings and wanting groups like this to be closed out. It used to be 90 days in advance. Then it went to 120, and we have to start closing out this group for June at the beginning of February. We're recording this now in the middle of November. It's a little bit before Thanksgiving. February, the holidays, New Year's, and February will be right around the corner. And then you'll be saying, well, yeah, I was supposed to book that AMZ and Beyond cruise conference, and here's what happens. In February, there won't be a two-payment plan. It'll be pay in full. The best cabins won't be available with the best perks that are being offered on the page now. And after that finalization date where you have to pay in full, the rates will go up. You'll get less. The people who book first get the best deal. So, but even beyond that, let me be more transparent. They need head counts for all the special events that I'm arranging, that my team and my office are arranging, in terms of the meeting space and the private dinners and the private parties and all of the things that we do. We need to know if we're going to have 20 people, 200 people, or 2 people. So that has to be done well in advance. There's a lot of moving parts and logistics on cruise ships that are different from hotel events, because the cruise ship is making room for our group in certain lounges or conference space or dinners. And that has to be done well in advance. Why? Because vacationers plan their vacations a year in advance, and they don't even do half of what we're doing with AMZ and Beyond. So there's a lot of moving parts, and this is not a scarcity play, but it is an urgency play. And the urgency play is that we need to know you're in and you have skin in the game and you put your deposit down. You can change who's coming with you up until a week before the cruise. But the one lead passenger, that is set in stone. So we need legal names and dates of birth and your citizenship and all that information when you go to fill out the form. So I think what I'd like to do now, guys, is maybe go over screen sharing and look at the order form and try to demystify some of the things that I take for granted for our first-time cruises, and probably people are going to be watching this back who've never been on a cruise before. Some people, Dave and Norman, think cruising is that just for the newlywed or the nearly dead? And are the average age of your guests deceased? And the answer is no. That was 25 years ago. Now it's all ages, all genres, niche themes, and it's a multi-billion-dollar business. And they can't build the ships fast enough, and the activities and grandeur of the ships have just gotten better and better, and the Wi-Fi has gotten better. I know you guys care about the Wi-Fi. So let's go over to screen sharing, and but before we go to screen, let's go to screen sharing. So let me see. I clicked the little green share button here on Zoom. Okay. Yep. And I want to do main screen. I guess I'll do main screen and click share, and then get out of this and go over to get over to the page I want to share, which is somewhere over here.
So right now we're seeing, but the form. Yeah, I think you just have to refresh that form there, and it'll come up.
I want to go over to our.
I've been going on cruises for a long time, Lou. It's no, it's not coming up. The first time I went on a cruise, it was per minute for internet. So the only time we checked internet was when we stopped at the ports. That was like the only time. Not only that, but if you happen to have your phone on and you went international waters, you got hit with a big bill back then. And then that's changed a lot too. So yeah, I can see it now.
Oh, I'm glad you see that. By the way, I remember those days too. So you won't have to be out of touch with your online businesses. And now T-Mobile that I just switched over to, they have international unlimited calling for $15 a month. There is unlimited data downloads. You know, it used to be if you didn't turn on airplane mode and you had your data downloads to your phone, you'd come back home and AT&T would hit you with like an $872 charge for your email. But all that has changed now. There's Wi-Fi. You could do video calling through Skype or Facebook video or WhatsApp. You guys know all of this. And so it's come a long way, and you don't have to worry about being lost and out of touch somewhere. But I want to just go through some of the things here on the page that I take for granted that you might have visited, because we've gotten a lot of hits on the page, a lot of looky-loos, and I think people are thinking maybe I have time to get my deposit in, and I'm going to go talk to the family, and meanwhile go have a sandwich, and then other things come up and get in the way. So the cruise is not until June 20th to Sunday, June 28th. So what we want you to do, of course, I'm assuming that everyone invited on this call and on this replay wants to and needs to be with us and should right now make time in your calendar to join us. And the 8 days, what you want to do is fly in on the Friday, June 19th, and because we'll have a pre-cruise host hotel, you want to be rested, relaxed, and ready to get on board upon checkout 11 a.m. early before the crowds arrive in Fort Lauderdale for this very popular cruise ship. And we get on board on Saturday, June 20th. And you want to schedule your return flights for any time after 12 noon on Sunday, June 28th. And so that's just a little bit of housekeeping about your flights. It might be helpful to book the cruise first before the flights so that we've got you officially registered. On this page, there's a video of all the cool bells and whistles of the Celebrity Equinox. I won't play it now because it may probably be stopgap through the Zoom. You could play that on your own when you get there. And we said it's not a seminar at sea with information overload. It's this warm invitation to join Dave and Norman and a group of your best Amazon and beyond entrepreneurial friends on the big mastermind vacation at sea, which hopefully will become an annual event. Hopefully this event of a lifetime will be repeated and will grow, and you have a big part in it. So Dave and Norman, I'm assuming that you've got a lot of really cool people in your inner circle, in your AMZ and Beyond club. Am I right?
Yes, we do. Yeah, a lot of high-end marketers. Like you said, it's not just Amazon. Amazon might be our specialty, but it's all kinds of marketing really off Amazon as well. So yes, a lot of different things going on there, and lots of group people that are they love the network and do these things, but I don't think they've ever done it much on a cruise. So this is very new to a lot of people. So you're definitely clearing up some some just some things that could be holding people back, and some expectations, giving them expectations.
Yeah, I hope to. So let me ask you this, because I don't know enough about your model, so I'm a little bit green in that area. So do you guys do a lot of Shopify and on outside? I'm assuming it's mostly e-commerce, and you're doing Amazon and probably beyond.
There you go. That's what we call it, AMZ and Beyond. That's on and off Amazon, all things entrepreneurial, with mainly focused on our private label product business. That's the key of that one right there.
Oh, awesome. So are these one-off private label items that are sold on Amazon, or drop ship fulfillment? Now I'm asking questions.
Right. So your private label means you own the brand, right? So
Right.
it's marketing it. It doesn't matter where we're marketing it. Amazon just happens to be the 800-pound gorilla now, but that they're like 50% of the market in the United States and growing across the world. There's still 50% outside of Amazon. So, we teach people how to sell on Amazon and then get their products and do it off of Amazon. So we focus on Amazon first, and then we get the beyond part with the Shopify, with eBay, with so many different other ways of e-commerce, and with up and coming companies that are trying to compete with Amazon. So all things private label with your brand pretty much is where Norman and I focus on.
Fabulous, fabulous. So you can build your own websites and your own lists, and you can.
Yes.
Okay, I got you. Okay, this is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. Let's get back to the cruise portion. But I hope you don't mind me asking questions. So I know, because it's one thing I learned early on at the big seminar 16 years ago was something very important: message to market match. So we want to make sure that we craft this experience to get the most out of it. That I know that there's enough time for networking and brainstorming amongst all of the attendees, and of course for you to do your business sessions, presentations, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so back to the fun stuff. Celebrity has some interesting offers. We've got ability to get onboard credit, unlimited drinks, free Wi-Fi, and if you don't want any of these perks, I want to actually just scroll down on this reservation form. A lot of people miss this, and if you really want to, if you're really on a budget and you want to just save some money, there's a little thing here that says, please choose your included cabin amenities, where you choose all of these packages that's included in the price listed above, and the price is based upon what cabin you choose. So let's say, the most popular one is right here, the deluxe balcony ocean view at $24.98 per person. By the way, so the $24.98, unlike what's advertised on the on cruise line websites, includes all of your port charges, government fees, taxes, and all of the event fees for everything that we're adding to the mix, everything that Dave and Norman is doing in terms of onboard curriculum, and everything my office is doing in terms of the special amenities, perks, and get-togethers that are private for this group. So you really have things coming from the cruise ship, things coming from my team, and things coming from Dave and Norman, with the value is a lot more than what's being shown on the screen. But so let's say you take the balcony ocean view, it's $24.98 per person. You're not going to be hit later on for all sorts of nickels and dimes that are usually added to a bill. I'm sure you've seen that before, where there's a base price, but by the time you check out, it's almost double the price. How many of us have fell into that trap in many different areas, right?
Or even just having that huge, people that like to drink and getting the drink, just give me your card, and you end up with that huge drink bill, that alcohol bill, right?
That's exactly right. So let's say for the $24.98, you're going to take advantage of the drinks package, and you take the classic beverage package and unlimited free Wi-Fi internet for the first and second guests. That drinks package alone is worth close to or over $1,000 for the 8 days. You can have typically up to 15 drinks a day, up to $15 per drink, and that will add up real fast. And now that's all included. So there's half of the price right there. The conference itself is worth more than the other half. So that's like getting a free cruise. And then if you didn't, let's say you're like me, you're like a teetotaler, and you're really not. Although I love the smoothies and the pina coladas and stuff. But let's say you don't want all of these amenities and perks. Look at this. You click on this right over here, lower rates without amenities. Take $500 off of your cabin total instead. And regardless of whether you take the drinks package or you take the lower rates or whatever you do, you put in your deposit right here, $500 for double occupancy, $750 for triple, $1,000 for quad. If you're going by yourself, you will pay as if two people. So that means you're still paying that $5,000 whether you're bringing someone or not. So may as well bring a spouse, bring a friend, bring someone else from the group and team up, whatever it is, and make use of it because it's all included. And then if you are teaming with someone else, you can just fill out this form. Look at this, deposit one of two guests, put your $250 down, have your roommate fill out the same form, put a note in comments to us, and boom, we've got you splitting all expenses on the cruise. I just want to show you how that works. Now, let me scroll back up and say, let's say you're choosing the deluxe balcony ocean view. All you have to do is click anywhere on the graphic or in this little checkbox right here, and boom, that's it. It's now highlights to yellow. You've now selected what 80% of the people will do, and that's taking the deluxe balcony ocean view. That's $24.98. Includes everything, everything, everything. Then select your amenities package. Then put your deposit for your two people. Put in your legal name, date of birth, and citizenship, who invited you, T-shirt sizes, your credit card, whether you want insurance or not. The thing about insurance is after mid-February, on the finalization date, everything is non-cancelable, non-refundable, non-transferable. So you click in either yes, add now, covers pre-existing medical conditions, or yes, add later when you finalize in February. Or no, I'll risk my investment and sign the waiver below. Just know that if you can't go, the cruise line will keep all your money. And so it might be a good idea to take the insurance for approximately 8% of whatever your cruise cost comes to. You sign the form, you send it to us, and now at this point, your credit card is not charged live in real time. All this really is a secure page, a secure registration page that sends us your contact information, personal data, and credit card on a secure server. We then go in, I'd like to say it's automatic, but my team goes in and gets you the best cabin and gets you everything that you need that's customized for your mastermind cruise conference. And so we have time to make changes. We can add guests, upgrade, downgrade, bring extra family members, do a name change. That you can do until right before we go, about a week before we go. What you can't, no, I'm sorry, the more extensive changes you could do up until February. Name changes on a second guest we could do right up until the cruise. But the most important thing is to get in the basic information and get your deposit in, because at least that locks in your reservation and that shows the cruise line that we've got two more people, one more room that are counting and going. And we've got skin in the game, which gives us a little bit of leverage so we could do more advanced planning to make the event even better. If everyone waits to the last minute, that actually hurts our event planning team on this side. So I'm just being very honest and transparent and say we just need everybody's deposits in, and we know people like to wait to the last minute. So please don't wait till the last minute. You can get your deposit back up until, when is the date? February 28th or whatever it says here. But we need your deposit now. So I hope that makes sense about how this booking form works. Some of you have already taken suites. If you want to go splurge and treat yourself to an experience that you truly deserve, we all do, go and get one of these sky suites. But the most, I guess the best value is the deluxe balcony ocean view. And then for those on a budget that need money for inventory or cash flow or what have you, there is always the inside windowless coffin. I mean cabin. And there it is. It's not bad. It's a nice cabin. Mike gets very upset with me when I call it a
because you're gonna. No, it's really just for crashing, right? So maybe if people want to be in the dark, just to crash, there you go, and you're gonna be out in the ship most of the time, right? Outside your room. But I hear you. It is a dark, quiet. It's like it's nice to have the sun coming in the window and be able to go on the balcony myself, but. Yeah,
I mean, for a little bit more, if you can get, especially if you're coming with your girl, your spouse, your family members, go ahead and take the balcony ocean view. Look at that gorgeous floor-to-ceiling glass, beautiful veranda. Imagine having breakfast on your balcony. and really enjoy the trip. I'm telling you that by being relaxed, by enjoying, by being in casual resort wear and not feeling the pressure of learning and information overload, that makes all the difference of being able to achieve, succeed, and implement in your in the business building activities that happen all week long. Now, I know you guys have done masterminds before, but really, once you've done this on a cruise ship in this atmosphere, you'll say, why haven't we done this before? And when can we come back and do it again? It's about lifestyle. And aren't you building your businesses? Aren't we all building our businesses, our empires, so that we can have some kind of better, elevated lifestyle, that laptop lifestyle that we profess, that we deserve? Doesn't that make sense, Dave and Norman?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and one thing I love about it, Lou, being that this is our first annual too, the networking is going to be so intimate, right? We're going to get the people that are going to be coming with us on this trip. We're going to be getting very, very close, and it'll probably be the smallest out of all the cruises that we're going to run here. This is going to be the smallest one because it's going to, like you said, it's going to grow every year. I'm sure people are going to say, "Hey, I want to do this again," and they're going to bring family members and all that. So it's going to get to a point where the Marketers Cruise now is what, like 400 people that go on that cruise?
450. We started out. I'm glad you brought that up. Am I still on camera? Can you see this?
Yeah, but if you actually stop the screen share, we can see the bigger version of it.
Let me just stop the share for a moment. I'll get back to the list of amenities. Okay. All right. So you just brought up a very good point, Dave. We started out with 31 people coming on that very first cruise, and it was like pulling teeth. Because no matter what pretty pictures we showed them or a video from YouTube, did we have YouTube back then? Is that they didn't get it. They're like, what is this strange man in a captain's hat talking about? And so it took a lot to get 31 people to come on a cruise. We have people coming from all around the world, and some people were just 10 minutes away in Florida, and they didn't want to drive. Yeah, it's funny, it's all everyone's got a different intent. And then we doubled and doubled again and kept growing and growing and growing. And then purposely, we've kept it under 500. We've got about 450 because logistics-wise, meeting space, dining, and so forth, that's what can be merged successfully with the cruise guests at large. It's just there for vacation. And so we try to maintain intimacy even at 450. And a lot of my cruises now have 200, 300, 400 plus people. But when you get an opportunity, I think back to when we had the 31 and we're all sitting around in a circle. Now I like to say that we have the world's largest mastermind where everyone gets stage time. And Dave and Norman, you haven't been on the Marketers Cruise yet, but that's something where everybody goes on microphone for 30 seconds and talks about who they are, what they have to offer, and what they're looking for, what they need. Okay? And somehow we get that all done in the world's largest mastermind. But as you grow, a certain amount of intimacy and camaraderie is diminished only because of scale. So now, when I look back, the first big seminar before there were 400 people coming to that, the first AMZ and Beyond cruise will be an opportunity like no other. Most of the cruises I do, this, have hundreds of people coming from 17 countries around the world. And that's great. It's a party. But where would you rather see a rock concert? At an intimate cabaret or blues club, or at Yankee Stadium, right? With 50,000 people trying to get in to see the Rolling Stones. Folks, the Rolling Stones are Norman and Dave. But anyway, but no cruise ticket scalping allowed. So basically, this really is, even if we do it every year, a once in a lifetime opportunity to be the beta cruisers. To be that small, intimate, have that camaraderie, and sit around with that pina colada, sitting in the JV jacuzzi. Now, I don't know if your crowd does a lot of JVs, but it's just basically sitting there and brainstorming and learning at sunset in the hot tub when we move the meeting from the meeting room, right? And even the meeting room is probably going to be in a funky lounge with like neon and brightly colored couches and some colorful drinks there as well, right? So this is the opportunity to say, oh, wow, I was there at the first one. And now I'm going to tell everybody because you just got to come back. And it was very difficult for us to build and scale from 31 to 463. But there's value throughout. And people keep coming back to all of my events because the ROI, right? What is it that Alex Mendosian said? There's an ROI and there's a COI. And the COI is a cost of inaction. What is the cost of you staying home and saying, I'm going to sit this one out and we'll get together on the next time, or the next land meeting, or the next webinar training? It's a cost of inaction. And I like to say at the prices that we're doing for this particular mastermind cruise conference, it actually might cost you more money to stay home. Am I right?
We say that all the time when it comes to, investing in yourself, when it comes to mentoring and masterminding. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And because if you don't go and you hear the people that are going to come back, like you said, they're going to be, they're going to be talking to all the groups that, hey, you guys got to do this. This is what we did, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be kicking yourself in the butt, and you're going to have to wait another year on top of that. And during that time, Lou, we and Norman and I see this all the time. You can't measure the amount of success that's going to come from your investments. Right. And this one being an investment in yourself, being around like-minded people, the business relationships that you can build, the partnerships. You said JVs, so joint ventures sort of things. It's a little different in what we do. But Norma and I, we've had, people pay us $15,000 to go to a week-long event. Now that's hands-on training. We have fun, but we're gonna have a lot more fun, I think, at this one. We do a lot more, in the classroom sort of stuff. But to be around, people pay us good money to be around us. And, this is where, like you said, it's like getting that for free. And, to build those relationships, who knows what's going to come of that. Norman, we have that one gentleman, remember Wilfried from our first Hawaii event? What has he accomplished coming to, I think that was a $12,000 event. What did he get from coming to that $12,000 event almost 2 years ago now?
No, right now he's in China speaking, but yeah, he's on the speaker circuit. Busy all the time. Started a new company. It's funny. It started in Hawaii, and now he just, became an instant millionaire pretty much because of what he learned.
And then he has a partnership with you too. Don't you guys have a business together as well?
Yeah, that's the partnership. But he ended up basically just touring the world with some really great content. So what he was able to do is find out how to get the content and how to apply it to e-commerce, which he wasn't doing. He wasn't monetizing before. He was an incredible guy. I had no idea who the guy was, and I blew me away when I saw what he was doing. And now he's monetizing, which is a lot different. And he's on the speaker circuit.
Wow, how transformational is that?
Yeah.
And I will share my little story of the power of showing up, like Woody Allen said, just showing up. So where did I reconnect with you, Dave, and Norman this past summer? It was it June or July in Orlando?
Yeah.
So my partner, Mike Filsame, was running a conference for some of his software members, of which you guys were part of. And it wasn't a huge crowd. It was a great crowd. And it was a land event for 2 or 3 days with multiple speakers, a lot of great information. And I came on and gave a presentation inviting people to do a different cruise that we've talked about, the marketers. And there weren't that many people in the room, and we didn't make that many sales. And so sometimes my wife will say, well, why, if you don't have 500 people in a room, why do you even bother to go to these events, right? And I say, because you never know who you're going to meet. One connection, one idea, one little brainstorm that you never know what, the doors that will open when you're not even trying. And so there I am at my partner Mike's event, and I meet Dave and Norman. Now, Norman, I don't think we had met before, did we?
No, we've never met before.
We never met before. But Dave, and obviously Dave remembered me from years past, from when I was just starting my online business back at the big seminar in 2003.
Actually, it was probably around 2009. I think it was at the Launch Tree event that when I first, so that was maybe halfway through not like just still in the beginning stages, Lou, but yeah, no, that was at another Mike Filsane's event. He was partnered with somebody else, and maybe it was Onyx and Gal, I think, actually. That was a big event, if you remember. That was in Las Vegas that we had met.
That was, I think, one of the first times that I spoke on stage in front of 450 people. Now, since then, I've spoken to thousands in the travel industry and around the world, and wrote 3 books, blah, 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 me. But, you know, it's so exciting, you know, as you're going through this industry and all the different, you know, machinations, all the things you could do. But so that was thanks for bringing that up. That was a very memorable event in Las Vegas. I think, yeah, that was great. We made a lot of sales at that event with Onyx and Gal, who I'm friends with to this day, and he's a great guy. At least we're Facebook friends. Haven't seen him in a while.
I'm going to see him next week. I'm going to be out there filming with him at his Learn Center in Maryland. So. Oh,
wonderful, wonderful. He's built this beautiful Learn Center, and it's gorgeous. Say hi to Anik from Captain Lou. So, so there I am in Orlando, and Dave and Norman come up to me. Now, did I solicit you in any way except to go on the cruise? And right, I mean, and I did a little presentation. I did my little 38-minute song and dance. And Dave and Norman say, you know, we train on Amazon and e-commerce, and we've got a really cool VIP club of some great people that I think would benefit of doing this on a cruise, on our own cruise. And so here is where, you know, a relationship reconnects, and people say, by the way, what are the best ships, Captain? You know my line, the best ships are the friendships, the relationships. And so Dave and Norman say, why don't we put something together and have the first annual AMZ and Beyond Mastermind Cruise Conference? And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it, right? And this is all from showing up, and that's called a joint venture. And that's the genesis of how this was born. Because I can foresee this done really well with some really cool people. By the way, if you're not fun, don't come. Kevin over there has been talking way too much. Kevin, you seem like, are you fun?
I am. I'm just letting you talk. I'm real fun.
Okay, because we should have a qualification for these cruise conferences. If you're not fun, you can't come.
Well, you know, too, Lou, I don't know if you saw the emails that I sent out to the groups. I said, fun in the sun call or webinar, or, you know, whatever it was with Lou. So, you know, if you were like, if you have a problem with the fun part, then you're not on this call. So yeah, no, we try to make sure we only have fun people come with us. So otherwise we can just throw you off the boat, right? Is that part of this? Are you allowed to toss people off the side, or?
Well, you know what, on my business card, my logo is, we will go overboard for you.
Oh, there you go.
Sometimes you just want to push somebody overboard. But I will say this, that all of my cruise events, and especially this one, are by invitation only. And that means if you're watching this live or on replay, and you've got an invitation from Dave and Norman, you must be one of the cool cats in that VIP club that they want to actually spend the week with you, 8 days, you know, networking and schmoozing while Caribbean cruising. They want to hang out with you. Now, one great thing about this business is we could actually uninvite people that don't deserve to be there. But we only want cool cats. And so we say, bring your spouse, bring your family, spend an incredible week. Let your family see what you're doing so they don't feel like removed. The +1, you know, doesn't feel like they're removed and you're like huddled in a corner, and it's the old boys network. Let's make it a dialogue rather than a monologue, and let's include everybody. And I think that's the greatest thing that I've done is create these experiences with all of these group cruise events where people come together, live that laptop lifestyle as a family or as friends or a couple or whatever your situation is, while building your businesses from the beaches of the world. And this is not just a spiel. I'm going to say goodbye to my Captain and Carol in the background. Thanks, Carol. Okay, so who's leaving? She's heard enough of me. She's leaving the webinar early. Okay, so in a lot of marketing and internet marketing is hype. And usually the sizzle of your sales copy never really matches up to the product. I'm proud to present to you a product, a service, a package that so far exceeds anything that I can describe here on this video conference, that any pretty videos or pictures that I can show you, that when you get there, the only thing you could say is, wow, thank you. Let's do more of this kind of stuff. Life is short. Life goes by in the blink of an eye, whether you're running a 5, a 6, or 7-figure business online or off. And all we could do is make memories together. The camaraderie of the group, helping each other, building each other's businesses in this fantastic atmosphere. I want to go back to the screen sharing because I know I left off something important, and I'll try to remember what it was. Guys, if only I could overcome my shyness. Tell me if I'm back.
Yeah, it's back there.
Okay. So, you know, so what I'm really trying to say is, you know, we're not trying to sell you on this. You're warmly invited to join us, but we do need you to go and just book, you know, click one of the links on this page and get your deposits in and work it out with Carol and Christine in my office, and they'll get you all set up in a gorgeous accommodation with all these perks and amenities, including, look at this. Okay, that's what I wanted to review. 8 big open seating round robin networking group dinners in a special section just for our AMZ and beyond cruisers. A group networking cocktail party plus a special, we might actually make a costume karaoke theme night if we get enough positive feedback here. It'll either be karaoke or costume. What could be more embarrassing than karaoke? Dressing up in some wild costume. Okay. So that's a possibility. We do that on all the groups, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Bon Voyage beach bag with group T-shirts and other fun swag. Of course, we have our private Facebook group. Another reason to book early is so to allow me and my team to group the cabins near each other to facilitate even greater camaraderie. We'll have a big networking beach party in either Tortola or Virgin Gorda. I'm voting for Virgin Gorda because that's where the world famous baths. The baths. I wonder if I could. Have you guys ever been to the baths in Virgin Gorda?
No. Hey, Captain Lou, I just needed to jump in here for a sec. I've got a call at 5, so unfortunately I've got to hop off the line. But thank you so much for getting on and doing this call. This is great and informative. And, you know, thank you for everybody for attending. And hopefully we meet you on the cruise. But unfortunately, I've got to ship off right now. So, all right. So see you later.
All right,
I do love the cruise terminology.
I try. See you later.
All right, don't worry about it. I'm sticking on. So
okay.
We're on the call today.
All right,
Norm,
we'll
take care.
wrap this up. We'll wrap this up in the next few minutes.
Okay.
I just want to review all the good stuff. And, you know, we try to underpromise and overdeliver so that things left off of this list so that when you get there, there are just extra bonuses. So we kind of told you most of what's going on. There'll be private optional island excursions. There's just so much. But we don't want to micromanage your vacation either. So if I told you every little thing that's going on every day, we'll have a better schedule as we get closer, obviously, to the sailing, for your meetings, for your parties, for your dinners, and so forth. But there's just so much going on. A week will fly by in the blink of an eye. As you see here, the package rates also include all port charges, government fees, taxes, everything, and all of our AMZ and beyond educational curriculum, brainstorming session with Dave Norman of VIP members, and of course, the value is priceless. This must be booked through this webpage or else you won't be in our group. If you see a lower price online, that's just for your cruise cabin, not for all the perks and amenities, not for the conference, not for admission, all of these things. So we've really kept prices close to our costs so that you can enjoy a really special event. That's why my company, specialeventsatsea.com, it's not just a cruise, it's a special event. I want to get off of screen sharing as we come up to the top of the hour and ask you, Dave, or Kevin, Alma, Kettner, M, Maverick, or anyone else that's on live with us if they have any questions that I haven't covered in this hour.
You know what? One thing I put in the chat box, but you had the form there. I want to make sure you guys have the link as well. I put in the chat box. So you go to amzmastermindcruise.com. Again, it's in the chat box. That'll bring up the page that Norma and I set up. And then when you click onto reserve, it'll go to the page that form sheet that Lou just showed you. So amzmastermindcruise.com. And I don't know if you want to show that. Is that what you're going to show there? If you just go to amzmastermindcruise.com, it'll take you to our page. When you then click on to reserve, by placing your deposit, it'll take you to that page you have to go through to make this happen, because you have to go through Lou's site, and this is the way to do it in order to be part of our group. Now, if you just go to the cruise and you happen to be on this cruise, you're not going to be part of any of the other perks, right? So you're not going to be part of your mastermind and all that good stuff. And it's only once you pay for the Wi-Fi and your drinks and all that, it's going to probably be more expensive anyway. So you just click on anywhere it says like that above there. You see it said click here to reserve your cabin. It'll take you right over to that page that Louis is showing you. It'll just redirect, so you don't have to know that whole form site thing. So amzmastermindcruise.com. And do note that he is serious. So I mean, when the rooms book on the ship, they're booked, right? When the cruise is sold out. The sooner you book, the better rooms you're going to get. And then Lou, I'm not even sure how many. I know that Norma and I, we both have Sky Suites. Are there still Sky Suites available? Sky Suites available? Because I don't think there's that many options even for Sky Suites.
So there might be one or two left.
Okay.
So those are really, I think you guys have the best ones. I think we definitely got you. Oh my goodness,
we booked really early. Yeah. So I remember Norma and we booked the Sky Suite, and because for me, I'm bringing and my wife's coming, and my wife is an expert in herself. She is a big part of our business. She is really an expert when it comes to emotional trigger words, writing things and those things in listings, buyer behavior, all that good stuff. She is someone you're going to want to pick her brain as well. We're bringing two of our teenagers, so we have two teenagers coming. Those guys that have kids, I don't think you mentioned this, Lou. There's things for kids to do. So
yes.
if you are with your, like, say for my wife and I, we're both partners in our business, so we'll be doing, all the business stuff. If you have kids with you, they can go to the kids club, even young kids, it's all included with the ship. Or if it's just you and your spouse or significant other doesn't want to come, they can do their own thing, right? So there's something for everyone on the ship, and it's just going to be really incredible. So amzmastermindcruise.com, click on that, send it over. And let's see, a question came in. Can you add a second person later on, given if you would order a single and maybe later find a friend or girlfriend to join?
Yes. So the answer is you can click on, if you know you're probably going to have two people, then just put in the second person as a TBA. If you only think you might, then book it as a solo. It's a little bit less because you don't pay the taxes and fees on the second person. And then whatever it comes to, we'll just add them in later on. So you could book it as a solo, but just remember that as a solo, you're paying almost double anyway, except for some taxes and fees. But you could certainly add in a person later on, even after the end of February finalization. We'll just charge you whatever it is, and then you add somebody later, and it'll be $200-300 in taxes and fees to add them. It'll be fine. So you can absolutely do that without a problem. The main thing is to get your deposit in now, and we'll worry about that later.
And I do want to throw this out there, Lou. There are people that I know that are singles that are looking to reserve, and they were looking to try to find a second person. So I'll make sure I mention that to them. They can add the second person later. We can also match people up. I think it would probably be, unless you're a girlfriend, boyfriend, it would be a male with a male and female with a female. But, we can actually, if you guys are in need of having someone in the room with, and then just so you know, it's not going to be, if you're with somebody you don't know, they'll set it up as two twins, not a king, right? They can move it a king, or they can move it to two separate twins. So there's options there as well. I know that Lou, our video guy that Norman and I have for our events, he's going to be coming in from Athens, Greece. And he doesn't think he's going to be bringing his girlfriend. So he's looking for another male. And, once we have that, he was going to book his room. But I'm going to make sure he books it here sooner rather than later. But that's an option where if you don't have someone to pair up with, we could share it within our groups and find someone, try to match you up as well. So you don't have to pay the full price for one person.
Now, remember, Dave, I showed you on the web form, I won't go back there now, there's a little check button where you just say deposit one of two guests sharing the same stateroom but paying separately. If you click on that, you put in your $250 deposit or whatever, and then if Dave and Norman match you up with another member, then we'll put you together. We can't make the reservation until we get the two people, unless you put $500 down, and you could just put
Okay.
it in. Here's my 500. Get me the cabin, and we get somebody later
And matched up later. Okay, but if you already have someone to match it up with, I hear you saying, Lou, that if you can book it now, doing that, do the 250 as single, and then you can put the other person's name, and then they book the form as a single, and then you can match it up and get the room reserve as well.
Right, and what you do is right. You just write me a little note in comments. My team will see it and so forth. I think it's better if you have someone of your own choosing. Obviously, if you have someone to go with, it's better of your own choosing. But if not, Dave and Norman will try to help you with members of the club. And so you can absolutely do that. And if you want to make sure you get the best cabin now, and worry about who's joining you later, I would just put the full $500 deposit in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so that, because we can't make the reservation on 250. We need the 500. But when we can divvy up and split costs later on, it's fine. No problem.
So I'm not how to say it, that Heilner, I think is how you say the first name there. I apologize, Stefansson. That's what I would do. So if you don't have that second person you to add later, then do what Luda said and do it with the TBA, the $500 deposit now, so you can get that deposit down to get that room booked. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and I feel you guys have we had this meeting to be able to speak. So feel free, Kevin, you're unmuted there. Feel free to say you have a question, just speak it.
Yeah, just a quick one, Dave. What are you looking to cap it at? Because you were talking about how unique this is going to be with a small group. What are you guys looking at?
So great question. I believe we only have a room block of 50. And
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so it's the room block is 50, so that would be times 2, it'd be 100.
Right.
Max. And to be honest with you, Kevin, like Lou said, it's like pulling teeth. I mean, it's like people are like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to go on a cruise boat to be stuck on a boat with you for 8 days, and it's nuts. So it could be a lot less than 50, but that's the max.
That's okay. That's cool. That's pretty freaking awesome, actually.
That's what I was saying. I mean, to be able to, I don't know, Kevin, how long you've been doing this business?
But
a
few years, yeah.
Okay, so if people were to pay just myself, let alone Norm and I, and some of the other VIPs that we're bringing on board, to be with just us individually for a day would be a lot of money that we would charge to be with them. And so I'm not saying I'm anything special by that, but I just know people are willing to pay to have that time. And so this is that's all included for free.
No, I've paid 10 grand for a special session with some people before. So yeah, it's without question value.
And I will say this too, just so you guys know that if you know who Brian Johnson is, he's known as the world-renowned expert at PPC. He is coming with his wife, and he might be bringing I think he's bringing his 2 sons too, his one teenager, one younger. But so he is the PPC expert's going to be on there. I have another guy, Steve Kang, who is a photography expert. He's going to be on it for product photography. So there's going to be some cool people that are going to be on this trip that, we're not going to say their names or who they are. But yeah, you're going to be able to rub shoulders with everyone for 8 days. Actually, really more than 8 days, because Lou didn't really say it. You kind of mentioned it, but we'll have a to-go party, a bon voyage party the day before we leave in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. So,
you know what I'm looking at? And it's not in the bag yet. So maybe I shouldn't put the jinx whammy on it.
If you're going to, that'd be over-promising and under-deliver, right?
You're right. Okay, so let me just give you a tease. So there's a hotel right on the beach that we work with that if we get enough people, we're going to have a great start of the party the night before the cruise. Let me just say that. Like 10 minutes away from Port Everglades and Fort Lauderdale, and it's going to be fabulous. The love is in the details, and I've got you covered. Don't worry.
I look forward to it. Definitely. So yeah, Kevin, do you have any other questions? Alma?
Actually, that was one I was going to ask, like a pre-party, a pre-cruise, and Captain jumped on it, but you clarified it more. So, just one other, just on excursions. Are you going to do special excursions maybe for the group? I know you can't just tell everything that's going on because there's not enough time. But Just curious on that. Just more
So
bonding.
yes, that's a great question, Kevin, because the cruise ship has their own shore excursions desk with their 4,000 people, what I call cattle calls or cattlemarans or whatever they do, of just the regular vacationers. But we will have special, more private, intimate for our group excursions from a third-party provider in the islands. So we might have ATVs or scuba or snorkeling or beach trip or a trip to the Baths at Virgin Gorda, a beach party where we're picked up just members of the AMZ and Beyond group and by a third-party tour operator that will lead us. Again, it's more networking and masterminding on the beaches of the world. So you don't have to worry about getting on these giant buses with random strangers. It'll just be our small intimate group with special, and those will be optional for whatever people want to do at each port of call. So we always do that, and everyone wears their T-shirts. By the way, this is a T-shirt from another cruise that Dave knows about, but I love what it says, and it probably applies to you guys, and that is if you have a laptop, or maybe these days a smartphone, right, and an idea with legs, just an idea, a product, right, then life is a vacation. And does that serve the purpose for all of these cruises, right?
I like it. I like that.
Yeah. So everybody's got T-shirts and beach bags and swag, and we all go off the ship together on private excursions that my office arranges just for AMZ and Beyond. How cool is that?
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah. Any other questions? Let's see. Alma, we haven't heard from Alma. You have any questions? Feel free to either unmute yourself or you can do it in the chat box. Halner, if you have any more questions, feel free. I know there's going to be, if people are going to, when we get the recording out there, Lou, I'm sure that there's going to be more questions that'll come in. And I know that we have you tagged on most of those, so you can answer those questions when they come in if I don't know the answer. But
if you want to put this into the chat box, my team, Carol and Christine and myself, email support@specialeventsatsea.com. Support@specialeventsatsea.com. You reach me, ask anything having to do with the cruise, your reservation, the ship, meals, special needs, dietary needs, et cetera, and we'll be happy to help you out.
And that's on both pages to the website. We have that link. I think we also have an 800 number in there for you as well, I would think.
And the 800 the 800 number is really an 888 number, and it's 1-888-I-WANNA-GO. IWANNAGO.
That's
He's
nice.
a branding expert.
It's all about branding, right? You're talking about private labeling. Got it.
Right.
And listen,
right now, I wanna with 2 N's, right? Go.
It's 888
IWANNAGO.
And you can leave off the O. That's the O for oh.
No, I'm gonna leave it. If you put it in, it's still gonna dial a number. So there, it's in the chat box.
It's one of those things, yeah. So and that'll ring right here. Look.
Yeah.
Old style phone.
And we'll let you know. So, Kevin, you're asking about numbers. I know that. So I'm good friends with Onyx and Gal. We mentioned. I don't know if you know who he is. A big internet marketer. He has learn.com, LURN.com, and I have my Amazon course on his platform. He is promoting this for us as well. So
thank you,
I know there's gonna be more numbers coming in, but when it really comes down to it, Lou told me it's not the emails that are going out; it's when you really are privately inviting people to come. So I expect the numbers to be low, and being the first annual event, like I said, I think the opportunity is going to be incredible for us to build those bonds and to share some really good times together with not only each other but families as well. People that bring their families. I know my parents actually might be coming. They have nothing to do with Amazon, right? In fact, I don't think they still understand what I do. But
have they ever seen you in action? Have they seen you in action?
They have seen some of my videos and such, so they have some understanding, but they really don't fully know. But they're not coming on to be part of the Amazon stuff. They're coming on just because it's gonna be an awesome trip, right? So they're not locked in yet, Lou, just because they're moving to North Carolina. They have a house being built, and they're not sure if it's gonna be built in time for them to say, okay, we can get away for a week. But I'm still hopeful they're gonna be able to come. And even if people have nothing, they don't have anything to do with business, they can still come. They can just do their own thing. And when we're doing our business stuff, we can do our business stuff. So I know people that are doing that, inviting up, like Lou said, they can be inviting other people to come. And just when we do the Amazon Mastermind stuff, they don't have to be networking with us. Could be like, I don't care what they're talking about. I'm gonna go get a drink over by wherever.
We'll still include them in all of our big dinners.
Yeah, still be included.
And we'll still include them at the parties too.
Definitely. But if we bore them, they might go off on their own.
The low numbers, Dave, just explodes the value. That's why I asked that question, because it's like, it's not like thousands of people or even hundreds. It's like it's big value. Okay.
And like I said, Kevin, yeah, I think that will change here as we do our second and third annual, because word will get out.
You know what actually launched my business from a 5-figure to a 6-figure to now a 7-figure and beyond business is actually, I think, those first group cruises that we did, where I had one-on-one time with the mentors of the day back then, Alex Mandozian and Armin Moore and Joel Christopher, Carl Galletti, famous copywriters, and then, of course, Mike Filsame, and I'm forgetting, Jeff Walker was there, and all of these people, that to be actually to not just spend a few minutes at the bar late night at a seminar, but a whole week on vacation. And not just talking business, but getting to know, we're really building relations, getting to know their likes, their families, their situation, their background, in a real way, not in speed networking, but in a real way, sitting around the pool, going off the ship, going shopping, whatever, going to the beach. You develop these friendships and these relationships that, for me, really exploded my business. The law of reciprocity, when you put something forward, good karma and things come back to you. So I surrounded myself with the right people, not looking for a handout, but for a hand up. And then the right people wanted to help me. And it was one of those things like, Lou, how can we help you grow your business? And by getting FaceTime with all the experts and gurus of the day, so catapulted me above the rest. And I saw people that didn't go on these cruises struggling. They're sitting behind their computer, hiding in their bat cave. You're right, hoping that something will happen. You know the way that works. And it's a lonely. Sometimes being an entrepreneur is a lonely struggle. Am I right? And you might have a huge list, and you might even be selling lots of products online. But if you're just sitting in your home office and saying, I don't have time to go on a cruise, and I've got just too many other things happen, just never will be the right time. But then you put yourself out there, and amazing things happen. Like Dave just told a story before of the person, what was it, from Hawaii? Was it Norman that told a story?
He was one of, so it was our first high level event. We only had five people. So we booked those up to 12 people, and we only had 5. It was our first event. And just that camaraderie that we had for a week. Actually, that was only five days, that event in Hawaii. And Norman and him hit it off, and he told that story of just, hey, I want to work with you. You're an amazing cat here, and so he has a business now with Norman because of that. Because it's all about those opportunities, like you said. It's if you, so you said it was COI, cost of, how do you say it?
Well, okay, so there's ROI, return COI, cost of inaction.
Inaction, right? Cost of inaction.
What is your
right? You have no idea. You don't know what it is because you're not going, right? So you can never put a price of what it is worth to you, because you would never know unless you go. You won't know what the price is to you. But this first one is going to be incredible.
Dave, I went last September, not this year, but a year ago September. I went with my wife looking for a snowbird investment condos in South Florida, right on the Intracoastal, A1A, the palm trees, everything. And it was this fantastic opportunity for like $230,000. Now it's $350,000. It's because now the economy.
Yeah.
So and I'm like, and you know how you come up with excuses, and this is the cost of inaction. So we're right there. We have this sweetheart deal, like an insider deal available, right? And there we are. And I want to buy this property so I can go and like maybe vacation in the winter. And I didn't pull the trigger, right? because it was a hot and humid day and we were like getting soggy, right? Whatever the excuse was.
Right.
And now that opportunity's gone. Now the thing has gone through the roof. And because it's the cost of inaction. How many times have each of us, right? Even in this, said, oh, I just should have done that, right? But I overthought it. I overthought it, and I was worried, and I had these, and then you're like, oh boy.
Well, I'm telling you too. I mean, to relate that back to what we do, Luke, because I know you don't fully understand or know how we do things, but I'll give you an example with Brian Johnson coming, right? So he could you guys could be on the one of the decks just sitting out whatever with a laptop open. And, Brian, you could say, hey, Brian, what do you think of this campaign, or how can I improve this? And Brian could go into your PPC in your back end of your Amazon sponsored ads, and he can make some tweaks in there that would pay for the trip. That's how good Brian Johnson is. And that's how, like Norman was saying, those kind of tweaks could make it so you're making more money when you leave in 8 days on the, when you disembark the ship than when you arrive, and that will pay for itself just in just that one change, let alone who knows how many different changes are going to happen or how many relationships. And I was actually on a call, before this one, Lou. I was, Brian Johnson's launching his Sponsored Ads Academy 3.0. So he had Norman and I on as a guest right before we did this call. Anyway, we were talking about this one experience he had with a couple of our members that he, to this day, still talks to them. There's been a year and a half. No, it hasn't been that long, has it? It might be a year and a half. Yeah, since the last time we did it. But he talks to these people now like every week, and he never had to do that, but he does that. Now they have a relationship, and to the point where they sent him like this really expensive bottle of wine from Italy because they were so thankful for what he's done. And this is the people that we are. This is who I am, who Norman is, who Brian Johnson is. We are all about helping others and succeeding together because we believe in the abundance mindset. And I know, and Norman knows, that the more we help others, the more it's going to reward us all. And that's what we're all about. And so a better way to do it than having a blast at the same time. We didn't even, Lou, we had to end the call here because we've been on for quite some time, but we didn't even talk about destinations yet at all. But so that's all on the page. Look at it. The places we're going are just going to be absolutely insanely incredible. A bunch of places I've never been, actually. And but check it out. It's all on our amzmastermindcruise.com. And so let me throw it out there. Any last minute questions you guys have before we call it a day here?
Very informative. Thanks, guys. Awesome.
You're most welcome.
Kevin, you gonna be coming, or do you have to get approval first?
No, it's going to be a surprise for the wifey.
Nice.
Yeah. So
surprise! We're going on a business trip.
Well, that's right. It's a write-off.
That's my wife and I. That's what the majority of trips that we take nowadays are all written off. Yeah. That's the smart way to do things. Yes. So
I'm not a tax advisor, accountant, or attorney, but I will say we will have the required 18 to 20 hours of business sessions during the course of the week. And if it starts at the hotel, it's starting on land.
Yeah.
In USA.
And a lot of times it has a beverage of your choice in one hand, at least one hand.
Beverage of your choice.
Yeah.
And what you just said before, Dave, was very, very important about wanting to help, one little tweak, helping each other's business and so forth. So I like to say on all of my cruises that for me, and this is from the heart, the mission is more important than the commission. And that's how I built my business to have, we produce 12 cruises a year with several thousand people, you know this. And this won't make or break me, but I'd like to help make this a fantastic success as the mission being more important than the commission. Because I know, as karma has it, that if you just put out the right vibe, do the right thing, and help, who is it, Zig Ziglar that said, you'll get everything that you ever wanted out of life. Am I butchering this?
And
by helping others
Yeah.
get what they want. Was it the other way around? Did I just butcher that?
I
mean, is there?
You're close. You're close. But I always say that when you go out there and unconditionally help others, it'll be returned. And it's a biblical principle, right? It'll be returned tenfold and more. Just don't ever expect it. Don't do it expecting results. Just do it, trying to make a better place, and it will, and you'll be rewarded for it. So that's what we do. And I thought Lou was crazy when I said, well, what kind of commissions are we making this on, Lou? He goes, well, that'll all come later. I'm like, what do you mean later? He's like, no, you don't understand it. We're not really making commissions on this trip. It's all about those relationships and things you're going to build for later. I'm like, you know what? That's the way to do it. And that's more important than making a commission on this. It's let's go out there, have a great time together. And and at the same time forward our businesses. And hopefully we can do this a lot more times than just this one. So definitely look forward to it, Lou. And I thank you for your time for coming on. Thank you guys that are stayed on live the whole time. And don't forget, make sure, like Lou said, don't be all excited here and get off and forget the book. And another thing you forgot to say too is about the whole idea you said about a Christmas coming up. How did you say that to me?
What better Christmas gift to give to yourself and family, but something to look forward to, and that's joining us on the AMZ and Beyond cruise. So absolutely, what a great stocking stuffer.
Now, if you don't celebrate Christmas, then just do it as a gift or whatever holidays you do. But it doesn't have to be Christmas, but it's coming up to the holiday Christmas shopping season. So treat yourself, treat your loved ones, and you'll be rewarded for quite some time. I fully believe that, and you'll see that too. So, Luke, again, thanks for your time. I appreciate you coming on short notice. We only told you about a few days ago. And, I look forward to this being a blast. And those of you guys that are booking, it's amzmastermindcruise.com. If you have any questions, you can call the 888 number, which is 888-I-WANNA-GO. They'll get right through to the office there at Lou's office and his staff. You can also contact him directly at support at special events at sea.com. All that is on the site. And you can also contact me and Norman directly. Our information is all on the page as well. And I believe on that page, amzmastermindcruise.com, I even have a way you can book a 15-minute call with me to specifically ask me any more questions you want to ask. So that's there for your opportunity as well. So, Lou, thanks again. Cool. Kevin, Alma, you guys that stayed on live. Look forward to seeing you guys next June. It'll be here before we know it. It'll be here really fast.
Thank you, Dave. And folks, let's not be two ships passing in the night. See you on the Lido deck.
All right. Appreciate it, Lou. Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Thanks.
All right. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.